Do you have any idea how much money I lose per minute standing here? More than she'll make in her entire pathetic life. The words hang in the air like poison. Everyone in Providence Municipal Court freezes. The man who just spoke is Dominic Castellano. He's 28 years old. He's wearing a custom Tom Ford suit that costs $8,000. His shoes are Italian leather. They cost more than most people's monthly rent. A Patek Philippe watch sits on his wrist. It's worth $250,000. He doesn't look at the woman standing next to him. He doesn't see her hands trembling. He doesn't care. If you believe respect should be universal, regardless of someone's bank account, you need to see what Judge Frank Caprio does next. This case will restore your faith in the justice system. The bailiff called the case 10 minutes ago. Case number 2025, TR 94521. It seems simple at first. A parking violation. 18 unpaid tickets. The defendant was supposed to be Rosa Martinez. She's 44 years old. She works as a seamstress at a textile factory. She takes the bus to work every morning at 4:30. She gets home at 8 at night. She does this 6 days a week. She supports her elderly mother and her teenage daughter. Her daughter is in high school. She wants to be a doctor. Rosa works herself to exhaustion to make that dream possible. Rosa is also completely deaf. She has been since birth. She stands in front of Judge Caprio's bench. She wears a simple blue dress. It's clean but old. Her hands are rough from years of factory work. Her eyes are kind but tired. Next to her stands Maria Sanchez. Maria is her ASL interpreter. Maria is 52 years old. She's been an interpreter for 20 years. She volunteers her time for people who can't afford to pay. She helps them navigate the legal system. She gives them a voice when the world tries to silence them. And then there's Dominic Castellano. He wasn't supposed to be here. This isn't his case. But 10 minutes ago, Maria's phone rang. It was the police. They found her car. Someone had hit it in the courthouse parking lot. They drove away without leaving a note. They left her car with a crushed bumper and a shattered headlight. The officer ran the plates of the car that did it. Security cameras caught everything. The car belonged to Dominic Castellano. So here he stands. Case number 2025, TR 94522. Called immediately after Rosa's case. Judge Frank Caprio sits at his bench. He's 78 years old. He's been a judge for over 30 years. He's seen every type of person walk through his courtroom. Rich and poor. Humble and arrogant. Guilty and innocent. But something about today feels different. The air feels heavy. Thick with tension that hasn't broken yet. Mr. Castellano, Judge Caprio says. His voice is calm. Professional. You've been charged with leaving the scene of an accident. You hit a vehicle in our parking lot at approximately 9:15 this morning. The vehicle belonged to Ms. Maria Sanchez, who is currently serving as an interpreter for another defendant. Did you know you hit her car? Dominic pulls out his phone. He starts typing. His thumbs move fast across the screen. Yeah, I knew, he says. He doesn't look up. It was barely a tap. The parking space was too small. Not my fault your courthouse has inadequate parking for luxury vehicles. People in the gallery shift in their seats. A man in the back row leans forward. A woman crosses her arms. They exchange glances. Did he just blame the courthouse? Judge Caprio's eyebrows rise slightly. Mr. Castellano, please put your phone away. Dominic keeps typing. I'm responding to an urgent email. My company is closing a $12 million deal today. This matters more than a scratch on someone's Honda. The judge's voice gets firmer. Mr. Castellano, put the phone away. Dominic sighs. It's a long, dramatic sigh. Like a teenager being asked to clean his room. He slides the phone into his pocket. Fine. Can we make this quick? I have a conference call in 20 minutes. Maria Sanchez stands near the interpreter station. She watches Dominic. Her car is 15 years old. She bought it used. She saved for 2 years to afford it. That car gets her to every appointment, every court session, every volunteer assignment. Without it, she can't work. Without work, she can't pay her bills. Her hands clench into fists. Then she relaxes them. She's professional. She won't let anger show. Not here. Not now. Let's start with the facts, Judge Caprio says. He opens a folder. At 9:17 this morning, you parked your vehicle. A 2024 Maserati Quattroporte. Is that correct? Yes, Dominic says. He looks at his watch. And it cost $160,000, which is relevant because if there's any damage to my car, I'll be filing a claim against the city. Your car struck Ms. Sanchez's vehicle while parking, the judge continues. You were witnessed by Officer Chun, who was on patrol. He saw you get out of your car, look at the damage you caused, and walk away without leaving a note. Is that accurate? Dominic shrugs. I was late for a meeting. I figured the insurance would handle it. That's what insurance is for, right? The law requires you to stop and exchange information, Judge Caprio explains. His voice is patient, like a teacher explaining something simple to a student. When you leave the scene, that's a crime. It doesn't matter if you have insurance. It doesn't matter if you were late. You don't get to hit someone's property and just walk away. Okay, cool, Dominic says. He waves his hand dismissively. So what's the fine? I'll pay it right now. I have my card. He pulls out a black American Express Centurion card. It's made of metal. It catches the light. This has no spending limit. Let's wrap this up. A woman in the gallery gasps quietly. She covers her mouth with her hand. She works as a grocery store cashier. She makes minimum wage. She's here because she got a ticket for an expired inspection sticker. She couldn't afford to fix her car. Now she owes the court $200. She doesn't know where that money will come from. And this man is pulling out a card with no spending limit, offering to pay whatever it costs, just to leave faster. Judge Caprio closes the folder. He leans back in his chair. He folds his hands. Mr. Castellano, this isn't just about money. This is about responsibility. You damaged someone's property. You walked away. Ms. Sanchez depends on that car for her livelihood. Dominic looks over at Maria for the first time. His eyes scan her from head to toe. His lip curls slightly. She can get it fixed. Send me the bill. My assistant will handle it. That's not how this works, the judge says. Then how does it work? Dominic's voice rises. Impatience bleeds through. Because I'm trying to be reasonable here. I'm offering to pay. What else do you want? A handwritten apology? A fruit basket? The sarcasm is thick. It drips from every word. People in the courtroom lean back. They feel the disrespect. It's palpable, like smoke filling the room. Judge Caprio doesn't react. Not yet. He's seen this before. Young men with too much money and too little wisdom. They think wealth is armor. They think it makes them untouchable. They learn differently in his courtroom. They always do. Let's talk about your background, the judge says. He opens another file. You're the CEO of TechVantage Solutions, a software company. Is that correct? Correct, Dominic says. He stands straighter. Pride swells in his chest. We just got our Series C funding. $80 million. We're disrupting the cloud storage industry. I'm sure you wouldn't understand the technical details. Judge Caprio says. He doesn't take the bait. And how long have you been CEO? 3 years. And before that? I founded the company right out of college. Dominic smiles. It's the smile of someone who thinks he's won. I dropped out of Stanford my junior year. Best decision I ever made. School is for people who need job security. I create jobs. Interesting, the judge says. And your father? He's Richard Castellano, the venture capitalist. The smile wavers. Just a fraction. What does my father have to do with this? I'm just establishing facts, Judge Caprio says mildly. Your father's firm, Castellano Capital, led your series of funding round. Is that correct? Lots of VCs invest in their kids' companies, Dominic says. His jaw tightens. That's not unusual in tech. And your office space, the judge continues. You lease it from Castellano Properties, another one of your father's companies. So what? Dominic's voice gets sharp. I still built the company. I write the code. I manage the team. My father gave me a loan. I'm paying it back. Actually, Judge Caprio flips a page. According to public records, the loan was forgiven last year, structured as a gift. Is that accurate? Silence. Dominic's face turns red. Not from embarrassment. From anger. How is this relevant? We're here about a parking lot fender bender. You're digging into my finances? That seems like an abuse of power. I'm establishing context, the judge says calmly. Because you keep mentioning how much money you make, how busy you are, how important your time is. I want to understand where that money comes from. I earned it, Dominic snaps. Did you? The question hangs there. Simple, direct, devastating. A man in the third row nods slowly. He's a construction worker. He's here for a speeding ticket. He was rushing between jobs, trying to make extra money to pay for his son's medication. He works 70 hours a week. His hands are covered in scars. His back aches constantly. He knows what earning money really means. Your Honor, Dominic says. His voice drips with condescension. I don't appreciate the implication. I've worked hard to build my company. I'm sure you have, Judge Caprio says. But you also started with significant advantages. A father who could invest millions. A safety net that let you drop out of school without risk. Connections that opened doors before you even knocked. None of that is wrong. But it's context. And context matters. Fine, Dominic says. I had advantages. So what? Lots of people have rich parents. Not everyone builds a successful company. That takes talent, vision, risk-taking. You're right, the judge agrees. It does. Now, let's talk about today. You hit Ms. Sanchez's car. You saw the damage. You walked away. Officer Chen called out to you. You ignored him. Why? I told you. I was late. Late for what? A meeting. With whom? Dominic hesitates. Potential investors. And these investors, Judge Caprio says, if you had called them and said, I'm 10 minutes late because I hit someone's car and I'm doing the right thing by leaving my information, would they have refused to meet with you? Another silence. Probably not, Dominic admits. So you weren't late because you had to be. You were late because you chose to prioritize your convenience over your legal obligation. Is that fair to say? I guess. You guess. The judge's voice sharpens slightly. Mr. Castellano, in my courtroom, we speak with certainty. Did you or did you not choose to walk away from your responsibility? Yes. The word comes out clipped. Angry. Thank you, Judge Caprio says. Now, let's bring Ms. Sanchez into this conversation. She's standing right there. She's been waiting patiently while we discuss your case. Have you said anything to her? Have you apologized? Dominic glances at Maria again. Should I have? You hit her car. And I said I'd pay for it. That's not an apology. What do you want me to say? Dominic throws his hands up. I'm sorry? Fine. I'm sorry. There. Happy. Maria's face doesn't change. She signs something to Rosa. Rosa looks sad. Not angry. Just sad. Like she's seen this before. Like she knows how some people are. Like she's accepted that the world isn't always fair or kind. Judge Caprio watches the exchange. He sees Maria's hands moving. He sees Rosa's expression. He turns back to Dominic. That was one of the least sincere apologies I've heard in 30 years on this bench. What do you expect? Dominic says, I'm being forced to apologize. Of course it's not sincere. This whole thing is ridiculous. It was an accident. A minor one. I'm handling it. Why are we still talking? Because actions have consequences, the judge says. Yeah, and the consequence is I pay the repair bill. I get it. That's one consequence. What else is there? Judge Caprio leans forward. His eyes lock onto Dominic's. That's what we're about to discover. The courtroom gets quieter. People sense something coming. A shift in energy. Like the moment before a thunderstorm breaks. The air feels electric. Officer Chun, Judge Caprio says, please approach and give your testimony. A police officer stands from the gallery. He's young, maybe 30. He walks to the witness area. He stands straight. Professional. Your Honor, he says. Officer Chun, you were present when Mr. Castellano struck Ms. Sanchez's vehicle. Tell us what you observed. Yes, sir, Officer Chun says. He pulls out a notepad. At 0917 hours, I was on foot patrol in the courthouse parking lot. I heard a loud crunch. Metal on metal. I looked over and saw a black Maserati backing into a silver Honda Accord. The Maserati's rear bumper struck the Honda's front quarter panel. The impact was significant. I could hear it from 50 feet away. What happened next? The Maserati stopped. The driver's door opened. The defendant, Mr. Castellano, stepped out. He walked to the front of his vehicle. He looked at the Honda. He saw the damage. He pulled out his phone. He took a picture of it. He took a picture. Judge Caprio asks, Yes, sir. I assumed he was documenting it for insurance purposes. But then he walked away, toward the courthouse entrance. Did you call out to him? I did. I said, Sir, excuse me, you need to leave your information. He looked at me, made eye contact. then kept walking. He ignored you. Yes, sir. Dominic shifts his weight. I didn't hear him clearly. The parking lot was busy. Officer Chen looks at him. Sir, I was 20 feet away. I called out 3 times. You looked directly at me the second time. Maybe I was distracted. By what? Judge Caprio asks. My phone. I was reading an email. So you had time to take a picture of the damage, read emails, but not enough time to leave a note. Dominic doesn't answer. Continue, Officer Chun, the judge says. I approached Mr. Castellano at the courthouse entrance. I identified myself. I told him he'd hit a vehicle and needed to return to exchange information. He said, and I quote, I don't have time for this. Give them my name. They can find me. Give them your name. Judge Caprio repeats. Yes, sir. Then he entered the building. I returned to the vehicle. I documented the scene. I took photographs. I ran both license plates. That's when I learned the Honda belonged to Ms. Sanchez, who is inside interpreting for a court case. Did you also document Mr. Castellano's vehicle? Yes, sir. There was no damage to it. The Maserati's bumper had a small scuff, maybe 2 inches. Nothing structural, but the Honda had significant damage. The headlight was shattered. The bumper was cracked. The fender was dented. Repair estimate is around $3,000. $3,000. Maria closes her eyes. $3,000 is 2 months of her income. Maybe more. Her insurance deductible is $1,000. She'll have to pay that up front. Then her premiums will go up. She's 52 years old. She has arthritis. Her hands hurt after long signing sessions. She can't work as many hours as she used to. Every dollar matters. Every unexpected expense is a crisis. And to Dominic Castellano, $3,000 is pocket change. It's a dinner. It's a watch. It's nothing. Thank you, Officer Chun, Judge Caprio says. I'd like to admit the photographs into evidence. The clerk takes the photos. They pass them to the judge. He looks at them. His face remains neutral, professional, but his eyes narrow slightly. He's seeing what everyone needs to see. The shattered glass, the crumpled metal, the damage that money caused when paired with carelessness and arrogance. Mr. Castellano, the judge says, do you dispute Officer Chen's testimony? I dispute the characterization, Dominic says. He's making it sound like I fled the scene. I didn't flee. I walked into the building. I was already going to. That's not fleeing. You walked away from an accident you caused without leaving information. Because I assumed you guys would figure it out. Which you did. So what's the problem? The problem, Judge Caprio says slowly, is that you assumed the rules didn't apply to you. That's not. Let me finish. The judge's voice carries weight now. Authority. You assume that because you drive an expensive car, because you have money, because you're busy, the normal rules of society don't apply. You can hit someone's car and walk away. You can ignore a police officer. You can show up to court and treat it like an inconvenience. Like we're all just wasting your valuable time. Your Honor, I'm not done. Judge Caprio holds up a hand. You've made it very clear how much money you make, how important you are, how busy your schedule is. But you haven't shown 1 ounce of concern for Ms. Sanchez. Not one genuine moment of remorse. You offered to throw money at the problem. Like money fixes everything. Like money is a substitute for basic human decency. Dominic's face hardens. I said I'd pay. What else do you want? I want you to understand something, the judge says. Ms. Sanchez has been an interpreter for 20 years. She volunteers her time to help people navigate a legal system that can be confusing and intimidating. She's here today helping Ms. Martinez, the defendant in the previous case. Ms. Martinez is deaf. She's also poor. She can't afford a private interpreter. So Ms. Sanchez donates her time. She does this 3 days a week. She asks for nothing in return except the satisfaction of helping someone who needs it. Maria keeps her eyes down. She doesn't want attention. She just wants to help. That's all she's ever wanted. Her car is old, Judge Caprio continues. But it's reliable. It gets her where she needs to go. It lets her serve her community. And you damaged it. You didn't just damage property. You damaged her ability to help others. And you walked away like it didn't matter. I didn't know who she was, Dominic protests. Would it have mattered if you did? Silence. Would you have stayed if you knew she was an interpreter? A volunteer? Someone who helps people? The judge pauses. Or would you have walked away no matter who she was? Because I think we both know the answer. Dominic's hands clench into fists. His knuckles turn white. You're twisting this. You're making me out to be some kind of monster. I made a mistake. I'm human. I'm offering to fix it. Why isn't that enough? Because fixing the car isn't the same as fixing the harm, Judge Caprio says. You want to write a check and move on. Pretend it never happened. But Ms. Sanchez has to deal with the consequences of your mistake. She has to find a rental car. She has to miss work appointments. She has to fight with insurance companies. She has to pay her deductible. All because you couldn't be bothered to leave a note. Fine, Dominic says. Fine. I'll pay the deductible too. I'll pay for the rental. I'll pay for everything. Just name your price. Everything is not for sale, Mr. Castellano. Everything is for sale if the price is high enough. The words drop like a bomb. The courtroom erupts. Not loudly, not with yelling, but with motion. People lean forward. Whispers spread. A woman in the back shakes her head. A man mutters under his breath. The bailiff's eyebrows shoot up. Even Officer Chen looks surprised. Judge Caprio sits perfectly still. He stares at Dominic. 10 seconds pass. They feel like an hour. The silence is deafening. Heavy. Oppressive. What? The judge finally says, did you just say? Dominic realizes his mistake. Too late. The words are out. They can't be taken back. His face pales slightly, but his pride won't let him back down. I said everything is for sale. It's economics. Supply and demand. I'm offering to pay more than the damages. That should resolve this. You think Ms. Sanchez's dignity is for sale? I didn't say that. You said everything is for sale. Her dignity is included in everything. Her time, her peace of mind, her sense of justice. You think you can buy all of it? That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? Dominic scrambles. I meant the material damages. The car, the expenses, the quantifiable stuff. But some things aren't quantifiable, Judge Caprio says. Some things can't be measured in dollars. Respect, responsibility, character. You can't buy those things. You have to earn them. And right now, Mr. Castellano, you're in debt. The courtroom is silent. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Everyone is watching, waiting. This moment will define what happens next. Everyone can feel it. Your Honor, Dominic says. His voice changes. It gets an edge to it. Harder. Meaner. I've been patient. I've listened to this lecture. But I'm done. I'm offering more than what's legally required. If you don't accept that, maybe the problem isn't with me. Maybe the problem is with you. Excuse me. The judge's voice drops to a low register. I looked you up before I came in here, Dominic says. You're famous. YouTube videos. Viral clips. The compassionate judge. People love you because you let people cry, and you reduce their fines. But here's the thing. I'm not some sob story. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to beg. I'm offering to resolve this matter financially and legally. If that's not good enough, maybe you're just mad that I don't fit your narrative. The room gasps. Actual audible gasps. This isn't just disrespect anymore. This is an attack. A challenge. A line crossed. You think I'm mad because you won't cry? Judge Caprio asks. His voice is calm. Too calm. The calm before a storm. I think you're used to dealing with poor people who have no choice but to grovel. And I think you don't know what to do when someone walks in here who doesn't need your mercy. Mercy, the judge repeats. You think mercy is something only poor people need. I think mercy is something I don't need. We'll see about that. Is that a threat? It's a fact. Dominic laughs. It's a sharp, ugly sound. You can't scare me. The worst you can do is what? Double the fine? I'll pay it. Give me points on my license? I don't care. My company has a driver. I barely drive myself. This is all theater. You're trying to teach me a lesson I don't need to learn. And what lesson is that? That I should be humble. That I should know my place. That money doesn't make me special. Dominic steps forward. The bailiff tenses. But here's the truth. Money does make me special. It makes me powerful. It gives me options. It protects me. And there's nothing you can do about that. Judge Caprio looks at the bailiff. Please note that Mr. Castellano just stepped toward the bench in an aggressive manner. Noted, Your Honor, the bailiff says. Dominic steps back. I wasn't being aggressive. I was making a point. Your point is noted, Judge Caprio says. Now let me make mine. You're right about one thing. I can't change your bank account. I can't make you poor, but I can hold you accountable. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. Go ahead, Dominic says. He crosses his arms. Give me your worst. I'll appeal. I'll get lawyers involved. I'll drag this out for years if I have to. I have infinite resources. Do you? The challenge is clear. He's daring the judge, taunting him, assuming wealth equals immunity, assuming money is armor that law can't penetrate. Mr. Castellano, Judge Caprio says, I've been on this bench for 32 years. I've seen thousands of defendants, rich and poor, good and bad, repentant and defiant. But I have never, not once, encountered someone quite like you. I'll take that as a compliment. It's not. I don't care. You will. Judge Caprio opens another file. Let's talk about your social media presence. You're quite active online, aren't you? Dominic's confidence wavers. Just slightly. What does that have to do with anything? This morning before you came to court, you posted on X, formerly Twitter. Would you like to read what you wrote? I don't remember. Let me refresh your memory. The judge reads from a printout. You wrote, stuck dealing with a parking ticket. The incompetence of municipal government never ceases to amaze. 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. So, you posted that at 9:43 a.m., but you weren't here for 2 hours. You arrived at 10:15, and it's now 10:45. So you lied on social media about how long you were here. Why? It's called hyperbole. It's called dishonesty. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is the replies. Dominic's face tightens. One user asked what happened. You replied, hit some lady's beater car in the parking lot. Now they're acting like I committed murder. Do you remember writing that? It was a joke. Was it funny? My followers thought so. How many likes did it get? I don't know. A few hundred. 3,762, the judge says. I checked. And the comments. Let's read a few. That's what insurance is for. People are so entitled. Next time just drive away. They can't prove anything. Municipal courts are just scams to extract money from successful people. Dominic shrugs. I'm not responsible for what other people comment. But you like those comments. You liked 12 of them, including one that said, Judge should be grateful you're even paying attention to his little court. The courtroom is dead silent. People stare at Dominic, seeing him fully now, understanding who he really is. Not just arrogant, not just careless, actively contemptuous, publicly mocking the system, the court, the process, the people. Do you stand by those statements? Judge Caprio asks. It's social media. It's not meant to be taken seriously. You have 60,000 followers. You're the CEO of a prominent company. People listen to what you say. They're influenced by it. And you used your platform to mock this court, mock Ms. Sanchez, and encourage others to disrespect the legal system. I have freedom of speech. You do, the judge agrees. And I have freedom to consider your words when determining your character and appropriate punishment. Punishment. Dominic laughs again. For what? Talking online? You're insane. For leaving the scene of an accident. For failing to render aid or information. For contempt of court. For contempt. Dominic interrupts. How is this contempt? Would you like me to list the ways? Judge Caprio starts counting on his fingers. You've ignored multiple instructions to put your phone away. You've been disrespectful to me, to Officer Chun, to Ms. Sanchez, and to this entire proceeding. You've threatened to appeal as a form of intimidation. You've suggested I'm biased. You've mocked this court on social media, and you've shown zero remorse for any of it. That, Mr. Castellano, is textbook contempt. You can't charge me with contempt for having an attitude. I can charge you with contempt for your behavior. Your attitude is just the cherry on top. Dominic's lawyer finally speaks up. He's been sitting quietly in the back, watching his client destroy himself. He stands. Your Honor, may I approach? You may. The lawyer walks forward. He looks exhausted, like he's fought this battle before and lost. Your Honor, I'd like to request a brief recess to confer with my client. Denied. Your Honor, your client has made his position abundantly clear. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. He thinks money absolves him of responsibility. He thinks this court is beneath him. Am I mischaracterizing anything, counselor? The lawyer looks at Dominic. Dominic glares back. The lawyer sighs. No, Your Honor. You're not. Then there's nothing to confer about. Sit down. The lawyer sits. He puts his head in his hands. He knows what's coming. He's tried to prevent it. Failed. Now he can only watch. Mr. Castellano, Judge Caprio says, "Do you have anything else to say before I render my decision?" Dominic thinks. You can see it on his face. The calculation. Should he back down? Should he apologize? Should he try to save himself? Pride wins. Yeah, he says. I have something to say. Do you have any idea how much money I lose per minute standing here? More than she'll make in her entire pathetic life. He points at Maria. His finger jabs toward her like a weapon, like an accusation, like she's the problem, like her entire existence is worth less than his inconvenience. While I'm stuck in this room, my company is running without me. Deals are being made. Code is being written. Money is moving. Real money. Millions of dollars. And you're worried about $3,000 of damage to a car that's worth maybe $500? It's absurd. It's offensive. This entire process is designed to punish success, to drag down people who actually contribute to society. He points at Maria again. She's a sign language translator. That's a dead-end job. There are apps that do that now. AI will replace her in 5 years. Maybe less. But me? I'm building the future. I'm creating jobs. I'm innovating. I'm important. And you're wasting my time because I didn't leave a sticky note on a windshield. 10 seconds of silence. Then the courtroom explodes. Not with noise. With movement. 3 people stand up. A woman walks out. She can't listen anymore. A man yells, "Are you kidding me?" The bailiff has to raise his hand. Order. Order in the court. Judge Caprio doesn't move. He stares at Dominic. His face shows nothing. But his eyes show everything. Disappointment. Anger. Determination. "Bailiff," he says quietly, "please remove all spectators who cannot remain quiet." The bailiff nods. The courtroom settles. The woman who walked out doesn't come back. Nobody blames her. Maria stands perfectly still. Tears run down her face. Not from sadness. From anger. From humiliation. From decades of being told she doesn't matter. That her work doesn't matter. That people like her are disposable. Replaceable. Worthless. Rosa sees Maria crying. She can't hear what was said. But she knows. She's felt that look before. That dismissive wave. That pointed finger. She reaches out. She takes Maria's hand. She squeezes it. They stand together. 2 women the world tries to ignore. Holding each other up. Judge Caprio sees this. He sees their joined hands. He sees Maria's tears. He sees Rosa's quiet strength. And something hardens in his chest. Something final. Irreversible. "Mr. Castellano," he says. His voice is different now. Cold. Sharp. "Thank you for making this easy." Making what easy? My decision. Judge Caprio picks up his gavel. You wanted this to be quick. You wanted to pay and leave. You wanted me to treat you like everyone else who comes through here. But you're not like everyone else. Everyone else shows respect. Everyone else takes responsibility. Everyone else, even when they're scared or angry or desperate, treats this court and the people in it with basic human decency. You couldn't even manage that. Your Honor. I'm not finished. The words crack like a whip. You asked what I could do to you. You said money protects you. You said you'd appeal. You said you'd drag this out for years. Let me tell you what I can do. And what I'm about to do. Dominic's face goes pale. Really pale. He's starting to understand. He pushed too far. Said too much. Revealed too much of his rotten core. And now there's no taking it back. For the charge of leaving the scene of an accident, I find you guilty. The fine for this offense is typically $500. But given your behavior, your resources, and your complete lack of remorse, I'm imposing the maximum fine allowed by law. $2,500. Dominic barely reacts. That's nothing to him. Pocket change. In addition, the judge continues, your driver's license is suspended for 90 days. Effective immediately. What? Dominic's eyes widen. You can't do that. I just did. For 90 days, you will not operate a motor vehicle. If you're caught driving, you'll face additional charges. Criminal charges. I need my license for work. You said you have a driver. Dominic stammers. That's not the point. It's exactly the point. You don't need to drive. You said so yourself. So this shouldn't be an inconvenience at all. Dominic's hands shake. This is real. This is actually happening. Your Honor, please. I'm not done. For contempt of court, you are fined an additional $1,000. That's for your behavior here today. Your disrespect. Your threats. Your mockery. The total is now $3,500. Dominic can pay it without blinking, but his license is gone. That stings. That's real. That affects his life. But Judge Caprio isn't done. Now, let's talk about your community service requirement. Community service. Dominic's voice cracks. Yes. 250 hours of community service. To be completed within 6 months. 250 hours? That's insane. That's 6 weeks of full-time work. Yes. And you're going to do every single hour. Doing what? I'm glad you asked. Judge Caprio looks at Maria. Ms. Sanchez, how many hours a week do you typically volunteer as an interpreter? Maria wipes her eyes. She signs to Rosa. Rosa signs back. Maria speaks. Her voice is quiet. Steady. About 15 hours a week, Your Honor. And how many interpreters work in this courthouse? Just me, Your Honor. There's a shortage. Most interpreters work private jobs. They pay better. So the people who come through here and need interpretation services, they depend on you? Yes, sir. Judge Caprio turns back to Dominic. Mr. Castellano, for the next 6 months, you will report to this courthouse every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. You will work under Ms. Sanchez's supervision. You will help her with her work. I don't know sign language. Then you'll learn. Or you'll do the tasks that don't require it. Carrying files. Setting up equipment. Driving clients who need rides. Whatever Ms. Sanchez needs. You told her she's in a dead-end job. That she'll be replaced by AI. Let's see if you still believe that after spending 6 months watching her work. This is ridiculous. I can't. You can. And you will. Failure to complete your community service will result in 30 days in jail. The courtroom gasps. Jail. Real consequences. Not just fines. Not just inconvenience. Freedom on the line. But that's not all, Judge Caprio continues. Your community service will be performed wearing a court-issued vest. The vest will say Community Service on the back. You'll wear it the entire time. You wanted people to know you're important? Well, now everyone who sees you will know exactly what you're doing here and why. Dominic's face crumples. The vest. The humiliation. Everyone will see. Everyone will know. His followers. His investors. His employees. The press. Additionally, the judge says you will write a personal apology letter. Not typed. Handwritten. A minimum of 1,000 words. You will write it to Ms. Sanchez. You will explain what you did wrong. Why it was wrong. What you learned. And how you plan to do better. That letter will be submitted to this court and reviewed by me personally. If I deem it insincere or insufficient, you'll write it again. And again. Until you get it right. Your Honor, please. I'm still not done. Judge Caprio's voice gets harder. You will also write a public statement. This statement will be posted on your social media accounts. All of them. You will explain what you did. You will take responsibility. You will apologize. And you will encourage your 60,000 followers to treat people with respect, especially people they perceive as being beneath them. You can't force me to post on social media. I can make it a condition of your sentence. Refuse, and you'll face additional contempt charges. Your choice. Dominic looks at his lawyer. His lawyer looks away. There's no help coming. No escape route. No loophole. You'll also attend 8 weeks of community responsibility classes. These are held Tuesday evenings at the municipal building. You'll learn about empathy, privilege, and how to be a contributing member of society instead of a parasite who thinks money exempts him from basic decency. A parasite. Dominic's voice rises. How dare you? How dare I? Judge Caprio stands. He leans forward. His hands pressed flat on the bench. How dare you? You come into my courtroom. You damage someone's property. You walk away. You ignore a police officer. You mock this court online. You insult a woman who volunteers her time to help others. You call her pathetic. You say her life's work is worthless. You suggest money makes you better than everyone here. And then you ask how dare I hold you accountable. The judge's voice echoes in the silent room. Every word lands like a hammer blow. Let me tell you something about Ms. Sanchez. She grew up poor. Immigrant parents. They worked in factories. 14-hour days. They saved every penny to send her to college. She studied. She earned scholarships. She became a certified interpreter. She could work for corporations, make big money, translate for executives and lawyers and wealthy people who can afford her rates. But instead, she volunteers here. She helps people who have nothing. People who are scared and confused and don't speak English and just need someone to explain what's happening. She does this because she remembers being that scared kid whose parents didn't understand the system. She does this because she believes everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves justice. Maria is crying openly now. So is Rosa. So are several people in the gallery. You said she'll be replaced by AI. Maybe. But AI doesn't care. AI doesn't hold someone's hand when they're terrified. AI doesn't stay late to make sure someone understands their rights. AI doesn't volunteer. AI doesn't love. And that's what Ms. Sanchez does. She loves her community. She serves it. Not for money. Not for recognition. Because it's the right thing to do. Judge Caprio points at Dominic. You've never done the right thing unless it benefited you. You've never thought about anyone but yourself. You've been given every advantage in life. And you've learned nothing except how to take. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. The judge's voice thunders. Life wasn't fair to Ms. Martinez, who is deaf and poor and works 6 days a week and still can't afford to pay her parking tickets. Life wasn't fair to Ms. Sanchez, whose car you destroyed and whose dignity you attacked. Life wasn't fair to the people in this courtroom who struggle every day while you coast on your father's money and call it success. But you know what? Justice can be fair. Justice can balance the scales. And that's what I'm doing right now. Dominic's legs shake. He grabs the table for support. This is really happening. All of it. The fines. The license suspension. The community service. The humiliation. The public apology. Everything. You have one more question to answer, Judge Caprio says. Earlier, you said everything is for sale. You said money protects you. Do you still believe that? Dominic's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Answer the question. Dominic swallows. I don't know. Let me help you. Money can buy comfort. It can buy convenience. It can buy a nice car and fancy clothes and a Patek Philippe watch. But it cannot buy character. It cannot buy respect. It cannot buy redemption. Those things you have to earn. And starting today, you're going to start earning them. The judge sits back down. He picks up his gavel. Mr. Castellano, do you understand your sentence? Yes, Dominic whispers. Speak up. Yes, Your Honor. Louder now. Defeated. Do you have any questions? Dominic looks at Maria. Really looks at her this time. Sees her as a person. Sees her tears. Sees her strength. Sees what he tried to destroy. I'm sorry, he says. His voice breaks. I'm so sorry. Maria signs something to Rosa. Rosa signs back. Maria speaks. Thank you for saying that. It's not enough, Dominic says. I know it's not enough. But I'll try. I'll try to do better. Judge Caprio nods. See that you do. This court is adjourned. The gavel falls. The bailiff approaches Dominic. Sir, I need your driver's license. Dominic pulls out his wallet. His hands shake so badly he drops it. The wallet hits the floor. Credit cards scatter. His black Centurion card lands face up. It gleams under the fluorescent lights. Useless now. It can't help him. It can't save him. He picks up the cards. He hands his license to the bailiff. The bailiff takes it. Cuts it in half with scissors. Just like that. Gone. You'll receive a letter with instructions for your community service, the bailiff says. Your first day is this Saturday. 8 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. Dominic nods. He can't speak. He walks out of the courtroom. His expensive shoes click on the tile floor. Each step sounds hollow. Empty. He pushes open the door and walks into the hallway. People stare. They were watching on the courtroom monitors. They know what happened. They know who he is. What he said. What he did. He puts on his sunglasses. Not to look cool. To hide his tears. Behind him, Maria and Rosa gather their things. They leave together. Maria's car is still in the parking lot. Still damaged. Still undrivable. But something has changed. They were heard. They were valued. They mattered. Judge Caprio sits in his chambers. He's alone. He takes off his robe. Hangs it on the hook. He looks at the case file on his desk. Dominic Castellano. He opens it. Pulls out a yellow sticky note. Writes something. puts it inside, closes the file. The note says, "Sometimes the most important lessons are the hardest ones to teach. But they're worth it. Every single time." 3 months pass. Saturday morning, 8:15 a.m. Maria arrives at the courthouse. She parks her car. It's fixed now. Dominic's insurance paid for everything. His company even added an extra $1,000. An apology payment. His idea. Not required. He insisted. She walks inside. Goes to the community service check-in desk. Dominic is already there. He's wearing jeans. A plain t-shirt. The bright orange vest that says community service on the back. He's holding 2 coffees. "Good morning, Miss Sanchez," he says. He hands her a coffee. Black, 1 sugar. "You mentioned that's how you like it." "Thank you, Dominic." She smiles. "How are you today?" "Tired." He laughs. A real laugh. Not arrogant. Not performative. Just human. "I was up until midnight practicing ASL. I'm not very good yet." "You're getting better. Last week you signed an entire conversation with Mr. Peters. I messed up half the words. But you tried. That's what matters." They walk to the courtroom together. There's a busy docket today. Lots of defendants who need help. Maria sets up her equipment. Dominic arranges chairs. Carries files. Fetches water. Small tasks. Humble work. A deaf woman comes in. She's nervous. Her hands flutter anxiously. Maria greets her. Signs to her. Calms her. Dominic watches. He's learning. Not just the signs. The compassion. The patience. The humanity. At lunch, they sit outside. Maria eats a sandwich she brought from home. Dominic used to have his assistant order expensive takeout. Now he packs lunch too. They talk. "Can I ask you something?" Dominic says. "Of course." "Why did you forgive me?" Maria thinks. "Did I? You work with me. You're kind to me. You teach me. After everything I said. Everything I did. Why?" He sits down next to a young woman. She's signing with someone on a video call. He recognizes the signs. He smiles. When she finishes, he signs to her. "Hello. Nice to meet you." She looks shocked, then delighted. She signs back. "You know ASL?" "A little. Still learning." They talk. All the way to her stop. About life. About challenges. About dreams. When she gets off, she signs thank you. He signs back. "No. Thank you." The bus continues. Dominic looks out the window. He thinks about the courtroom. The sentence. The punishment that became a gift. The judge who saw through his armor and found the human underneath. He pulls out his phone. Writes one more post. "To Judge Frank Caprio, thank you for not letting me buy my way out. Thank you for forcing me to face what I'd become. Thank you for believing I could change. 6 months ago, you gave me the harshest sentence I could imagine. Today I realize it was the greatest gift I've ever received. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy character. It cannot buy redemption. It cannot buy the feeling of knowing you've helped someone. You taught me that, and I'll never forget it." He posts it. The responses come immediately. Thousands of them, from people he's never met, sharing their stories, their lessons, their transformations. He reads them, every single one, because people matter. Their stories matter. Their struggles matter. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. But justice can buy something. Something priceless. It can buy a second chance. A new perspective. A better person. And sometimes, that's worth more than all the money in the world.